Good day, students. Welcome to Mathgotserved.com. And this clip we're going to be going over how to factor quadratic trinomials. Don't forget we have some practice problems at the end of this presentation for you to try out in order to demonstrate mastery of the contents of this presentation. Tons of support resources can be found at Mathgotserved.com, and then you can also take a look at the links in the description below to gain access to the entire course and worksheets to support your learning. Alright, so the instructions for the examples that we're working on are for us to factor the given quadratic expressions. Alright, so question number 1, let's say we have the expression 7p squared minus 4p. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and factor this quadratic expression. We know it's a quadratic because the highest power here of this polynomial expression is 2. Alright, so the steps that we're going to be using for our factorization process are as follows. So first we're going to break down terms. The beauty of breaking down terms is that it helps us to see what the common factors are. Secondly, we're going to factor out the GCF, greatest common factor. And then lastly, we're going to put terms back together. Put factors back together. Alright, so what we're going to do here first is we're going to break down these two terms. Alright, 7 is prime. So 7p squared, if we break down 7p squared into a product of factors, is going to be 7 times p times p. Alright, and then if you break down 4 using a factor tree, 4 is 2 times 2. You know that, so it's 2 times 2 times p. Alright, so we've broken it down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find out what the common factors are. When we pull out all the common factors, the combination of those terms will be the GCF. So let's see. On the left side, there's a 7. There's no 7 here, so that's not common. We have a p here and a p here, so 1p is common on both sides, and that's basically it. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor out that p, okay? Factoring out that p is equivalent to dividing both sides by that factor that we pulled out. Alright, so when we pull that factor out, what's left is just going to be unity after extracting it from that particular part. So we'll take out a p here. This is 1 because we divided out a p from this term, and we divided out a p from this term, so we're left with 1s there. Okay, so on the left side of what's left, 7 times 1 times p is 7 times p minus 2 times 2. Okay. Alright, so now we are done factoring out the GCF. So just a side note is that in this particular expression, the GCF is p. That's the greatest common factor. Alright. So now we're going to put the factors back together. P doesn't need to be put back together because it's just one term. 7 times p is just 7p. And then 2 times 2 is 4. Bam. So the factored state of the given quadratic expression is p times quantity 7p minus 4. Alright, let's move on to number 2. Let's say we have the binomial quadratic 8n squared minus 36n. Alright, the instructions are for us to factor completely. So we're going to follow the same steps, okay? So we're gonna start by decomposing both terms. So let's start with 8n squared. So 8n squared. 8 is odd, so it's even. So 2 goes into it. 2 goes into 8 4n times. 4n squared. And then 2 goes into 4 twice. And then 2n. And then we can break down n squared into n times n. Alright, so 8n squared is 2 times 2 times 2 times n times n. Okay, so let's go to 36n. So 36 is even. We can take out a 2. 2 goes into 36 18 times. Take out a 2 out of 18. We have 9. N. Can take out a 3 out of 9. And we're left with 3. And just write n as times n. Okay, so for 36, we have 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times n. That's what we have right there. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do step 2, which is to factor out the GCF. Okay, so what's common? I have a 2 and a 2 is common to both sides. And then another 2. 2 2's are common to both sides. And then one n on the left and one n on the right are common. So if we factor those out, we're going to have these first 2 2's, 2 times 2, and an n times n. So we're going to divide those out. The first 2's, bam, those come out as a pair. Remember, a pair counts as 1, right? And then these 2 2's, this pair counts as 1, comes out. And then n and n comes out as 1. All right, so what's left? We're left with 2 times n minus 3 times 3. Like that. All right, and then just a side note, the GCF is the number that we pulled out, which is 2 times n, 4n. And then we put everything back together. Step 3, 2 times 2 is 4. 4n times 2 times n is 2n minus 3 times 3, which is 9. So that's the factored state of question number 2. All right, let's take a look at one more example, and then we'll give you some problems to try out. For question 3, let's say we have the expression 12m squared plus 6m. We're going to follow the same steps here. Let's write the problem. 12m squared plus 6m. So we're going to break down both terms, okay? Let's start with 12m squared. So 2 goes here, since it's even, 6 times. 2 goes into 6 3 times. And then we can write m squared as m times m. All right, so 12m squared broken down is 2 times 2 times 3 times m times m. All right, so let's break down the second term. 2 goes into 6 3 times m. So 6m can be written as, in decomposed form, 2 times 3 times m. Okay, let's pull out common factors. We have a 2 here and a 2. A 3 here and a 3. An m and an m. So these two 2's count as 1, so we can pull out a 2, a 3, and an m. All right, so let's go ahead and factor those out. We have 2 times 3 times m. So it's as though we divided by this GCF, which is 6m. Okay, so if we divided each term by that GCF, this would be 1, this would be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, so what we're left with in the parentheses is 2 times m plus 1 times 1 times 1, right? So just 1 times 1 times 1. Put everything back together. We have 6m times 2m plus 1. And there goes your answer for question number 3. Okay. All right, so here are 4 practice problems that we'd like you to try out. So go ahead and pause the video presentation at this time, try out these questions, and then we're going to show you what the solutions are after you're done. Alrighty, welcome back. So here are the solutions to the 4 practice problems. How well did you do on these problems? Let us know in the comment section below. If you have any questions, just let us know and we'll be more than glad to support you. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this presentation. A special thank you to all those who've been supporting our channels with your likes and your comments. If you have any questions as indicated earlier, or you have a special request, just put it in the comment section below. Tons of support resources can be found at mathgotserved.com to check it out. Thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.